All right, this is another in a series of recordings of extra mode Aria world records from this week. In this case, we've got no return mode. Record is 944, something like that. 931 over the 1124. Let's take a look. So for those who don't know, no return mode, as it sounds like, means you cannot step where you just stepped or you will take damage. You can see that red tile following me is the indicator of where I can't step, which is nice. Other things you should know, if you attack an enemy or buffer on a wall, that tile does disappear for the beat, so that's a very convenient way to be able to backtrack is to buffer. In fact, I would say that's the hardest thing to get used to in this mode is that you can go backwards after doing that sort of buffering. I think it's easier to figure out how to sort of, dance around monsters like I am. Less so when you can backtrack. So early Blast Helm, that's nice. Blast Helm, particularly nice because that's another way of blowing a beat without having to move. And mapping, obviously, always a good thing. One thing I should note is that the damage done from no return on Aria just counts as an enemy hit, not a missed beat, meaning it will blow through your armor or any protective item before blowing through your potion, which makes it sort of significantly easier than if that were not the case. Mostly looking for protection items and damage, which I suppose is common sense. But as opposed to, say, a normal speedrun where I would really not care about finding protection items, I'm definitely sort of going a little bit more out of my way to find things that might be protection here. Sure. A little bit of sight's never a bad thing. And I'm like, well, I hit 150, might as well come back and get this ring. It is sort of the nice thing about these challenge modes is that the records are a little bit less optimized, which means you can take the time to go a little bit of shopping. And that you don't need sort of the perfect seed in order to set a record or make significant progress. So, doing 2 damage now. See, so there's a good example of I hit the monster once, and I was then able to backtrack as a result without taking damage. Yes, I would love the freeze tomes. So that is so nice for dealing with the exit of any sort of room. Someday I'll learn how to properly do those. I'm gonna spawn the leprechaun. Oh, nope. I thought I was gonna spawn a leprechaun, then realized I did not have the space to do that without getting hit. That little wait there, I have the title card up, so I'm not actually using time, and it allows me to start King Konga with a full set of beats as opposed to getting only 6. I could have saved, a beat there, or a few beats by free-scrolling Konga and then blowing up so that he didn't teleport, but I want those free scrolls for panicking in a room, not for super fast strats in this case. I get the gi. 3 damage is nice, since that allows you to kill most things within 2 hits. That said, I was obviously sort of looking for heavy plate. I already have a map, so I don't need to worry about that. See, so then there's an example of me sort of like, I could have just backtracked after the Blade Master, because when he parries, you're going to end up getting rid of your no return beat there, but sort of still not quite used to it there. Although, that time I do it properly. So there you go. Here Shovel of Courage. This is, as I say in the other videos, the most important speed item for Aria. Yeah, here I'm switching to going full damage instead of the panic strats. Shovel of Courage, gonna give me iframes, which is super nice. Because now I can just sort of lazily cut through levels, particularly once I get to zones 3 and lower. And that's one of the reasons I opt for going 4 damage, is now that I got the Shovel of Courage, you really want to be able to kill monsters in 2 hits, because when you pop out of the wall, you get 1 iframe, which will let you tank whatever hit the monster's doing, then you'll get 2 hits on the monster because after it attacks you, it's on its offbeat. So iframe and get hit, offbeat attack, on-beat attack, and as long as that kills, you're fine. So I do find the damage here is maybe more important at this point than the Blast Helm, which is a little bit more unknown what's going to happen in terms of usefulness. Just a little dancing so I don't hit myself. Yeah, I don't have the Lucky Charm, so I'm pretty wary of that bat there. And then take out my Vengeance as opposed to just running around him like I would have been faster. Yeah, I don't want the Torch because I don't want any more aggro. Yeah, Courage and No Return and Confusion do not go well together. Oh, we get a heavy plate, which is super nice. So now we've got lots of protection. We've got Freeze Charm, we got a heavy plate, got a potion still. Pretty happy. And we've got lots of fast items. So, you know, I'd love a shield spell or something like that at this point, but that's probably, you know, shield and freeze spell are the only things I'm looking for. A better ring, I guess, actually. Ring of Peace or Courage. There's some no return damage. I honestly probably wouldn't run Courage on this just because I don't have enough practice with knowing how Courage and no return are going to interact. Also don't really know how this is going to work out for me. Oh, right. I've got the free scrolls, so here's one where I know I don't really know how to bomb Coral Rift in no return mode, depending on where he appears, so I'm just looking for a better ring or a spell. Thankfully, we're now getting to the parts that become much easier with a Shovel of Courage. Less so here because it's a pretty open level. But thankfully, just the right distance not to get hit by that dragon, but instead to just whack him in the face. I just can't quite figure out how to fix this. I probably should have just run to the right and up the wall, and then let the nightmare come to me. Yeah, I would have been able to kite that wall all the way to the exit, but I wasn't sure about it, so I just decided to kill it. Fortissimo. Still my least favorite, just lack of, you know, really any practice, especially like once you get to these lower zones, since if you're in Aria, you don't make that many Z3 runs at all. I'm like, like, okay, never mind. We're just gonna use the scroll and hope we find a free spell or something. Hey, shield spell, take it. Sort of know that now, like, you know, Zone 2 is not going to be too much of a problem. I can't even, like, think of anything. Like, maybe I could have messed around with the ring, but we're sort of, like, so close here that oof, take one hit because I'd sit so long there. Thankfully, didn't run into the mole, which would have cost me my potion. Free spell. So this is great. I've got 2 shield scrolls and a free spell, which means like I've got quite a bit of protection in terms of my my boss and the upcoming boss rooms in Zone 1. And I decide to do it. Just go for it. And now I realize, you know, Zone 1, this is a fast run. I want to make it as fast as possible, so we're just gonna, you know, get to the exit. Apparently, couldn't resist picking up the bomb. Yep, let's pop the shields, because don't want to deal with it. Nice mapping there. Lucky it was a bat, and also lucky that that blue bat, I think, actually did have a beat to hit me. Here, I'm a little bit peeved about the walls, thankfully. Thankfully, the red dragon broke the crypt wall, and the mole was aligned with me. Here I'm freaking out. I don't know how to deal with a stray rider on no return. So that didn't help me out at all. Finally figure out, okay, let's just bomb him, because that'll save the beat. We'll just run at him, see what happens. Nope. Okay. Hopefully we're good now. Nope. I was off. Yep. Potion, freeze charm, glass armor. Lost all of them to the loot fight. Totally off rails. Was not at all prepared for a stray rider and no return. But hey, thankfully worked out. Also probably should have just cast the freeze spell or something in the first place, or fireballed the rider as it turned out. But worked out. And that was a 931 run. Thanks for watching.